Hi, guys, and welcome to the Geek Street podcast, where the street speaks. I'm back. We are back again, the Geek Street. My name is Sean, and we have Harwin, Jess, and Eric. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
All right. We got a very special episode. We have been waiting for this for a very long time for us to do this, and we finally have the Spider-Man No Way Home teaser trailer breakdown. All right. I mean, we have been waiting very long, very long. I've been waiting very long. We always speculate we always speculate when the trailer will come out, and I think we have done one episode of where we spoke about the word on the street. We gave sort of like a prediction of when the trailer comes out. So we were saying like maybe it could be end of this month, could be end of this month, could be end of this month, and we have had it on the 23rd of August. It's actually 24th for us here in Malaysia, but it was 23rd of August at night in the US where they release it. So I don't want to waste your time. You know what you came for. You came for the trailer breakdown. So this is it. All right, the Spider-Man No Way Home teaser trailer breakdown. Let's go. Okay, guys. So as we know, Spider-Man has released, and we're now going to get into the trailer breakdown itself, the teaser trailer. So this is normally not a trailer. This is just a teaser to the trailer. So as we open up the trailer, right, we see Peter and MJ on the rooftop. Okay, so this is actually a very typical sort of like a Spider-Man intro, because even the comics, when we read when we open up the comics and we read, we always see MJ and Peter sort of like somewhere on a rooftop or on a building top, or in a web, sort of like a canopy, same like what happened in Spider-Man in the same Raimi universe where Tobey Maguire and Kristen Dunst was actually stargazing in the beginning. So this is a very cool way to open up. What we are thinking is maybe this could be sort of like one of the opening scenes, right? Where we see Peter Parker and MJ actually on the rooftop. Okay, so when we pause that particular frame, right, in the rooftop, in the background we can see a very cool graffiti that says Ditko, which is actually sort of like a tribute to Steve Ditko, who is the co-creator for Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, right, together with Stan Lee. So that is a very nice touch, and I feel that as how Marvel has been doing, they always give tributes to the creators of these particular characters in the comics. So this is a very nice touch, and it's something that they will keep continuing to do. And it's really amazing how they just like suddenly just put it in the background. Okay, so then as we can see in that particular shot, when MJ is actually reading the newspaper, we see that the paper is actually from the New York Post, rather than the normal Daily Bugle that we know that is so associated with Spider-Man and James Jonah Jameson and so on, right? So we see the New York Post instead. Why we don't see the Daily Bugle? Maybe we'll get into that as we go deeper into the trailer.
The reason Daily Bugle is not releasing papers anymore, because I think their news is more on online streaming already now, online platform. That's why you see when J. Jonah Jameson does it, it's not like on paper. He does it live, streaming straight online kind of news feed. So probably in this universe we don't see Daily Bugle as a paper anymore.
Yeah, so it's like maybe like because it's set like after the year 2023, so I think most of the things are all digitalized already. So
I
look
at it now also it's already digitalized in the real world also already.
Yeah.
I mean, you barely see newspapers around. I barely see newspaper around. So
yeah, correct. Even nowadays, I also don't really buy newspapers anymore. Yeah. All right. So in that particular paper, so there is in the front page, we see that it's actually about Peter Parker, where his yearbook photo. I think this yearbook photo you'll see throughout the trailer, but you also see it on the front page of the newspaper where it's like his what they call face, which is big, and then a small body, which is the Spider-Man suit lah. All right, and then it says what they call Peter Parker and his spider minions, referring to, then you see MJ and Ned by either side of him, so I don't know what they're getting into. Like, I think like the press is like coming really hard down on them, and I think it takes a sort of like an emotional turn for Peter Parker, right? As you can see throughout the trailer, there is an emotional effect, and that emotional effect leads to whatever that's going to happen within the movie itself, right? And then there's a very funny part where MJ reads a line from the paper where it says that he has the ability to hypnotize females. That was really funny. It's like MJ's character where she's the it's like so different from the different like even we talk about the Raimi verse, the Spider-Man trilogy where MJ is like a totally different character, and then we see Gwen Stacy in Amazing Spider-Man. But here MJ, she has that high school girl vibe to her, right? So I think that was really really nice in terms of the way she responded to that thing, in terms of thinking like mature people are taking like seriously. Oh, can you really hypnotize women, But then she just like laughs it off and
Spider Lord. Yes.
Yeah, Spider.
yeah.
And
Spider-Lord.
I think in this MJ, they actually made her more involved in Spider-Man's life. Like she plays a vital role. Like if you compare to Sam Raimi Spider-Man, she was always known as the girlfriend character. So it was always more into a relationship kind of thing where they fight and they break up, but she wasn't that much involved in his life as a Spider-Man. So it's a good job that they did, that they brought this MJ to be very involved in his Spider-Man life and also the love life.
Yeah, right. So then we move on to the next scene where we see Peter and MJ swinging through the streets of New York. And James Jonah Jameson in the background, you can see like the what they call post credit scene for Far From Home. We see him in that big electronic board where he's like revealing who Spider-Man is and all that. So I think this could be like also like like the opening scenes, or maybe even a flashback or something like that along those lines, right? I think they really chopped the entire trailer to like really confuses like, okay, which is the beginning, which is the middle, which is the ending, so they don't want people to know the actual storyline. But I think there's a lot of like subtle things that they put inside as we get into that as we go along. So as we see that scene, in the background, then we see James Jonah Jameson. Then as they swing along, then we see a huge electronic board where we see the yearbook picture again. I think this yearbook picture, I don't know why it keeps popping out in so many places. But I think maybe that's the only nice photo of Peter lah, right?
Because they have.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like because like for me, like he used to be like we see Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, like he's a photographer, right? So like I don't know what happened to this Peter. Maybe he hasn't really picked up the camera or something like that.
No, this one, because he's still a student, right? So obviously they'll just go to the yearbook to find for his picture lah.
Maybe not yet lah. Maybe not yet. I think he's still young, so I think maybe in the future he will start picking up the camera. I think eventually he has to, because that is Peter Parker's trademark, photographer and working for Daily Bugle and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also, speaking of Jonah Jameson, you can see the contrast from the Tobey Maguire, Jonah Jameson, and this guy. In Tobey Maguire's one, he was actually protecting Peter Parker. The scene where the Green Goblin asks who takes photo of Spider-Man, and he says he doesn't know. He just gets it by mail. But even though he knows it's Peter Parker, he actually protects his identity. But in this case, he's just like telling out to the world he doesn't care what happens to Peter Parker as long the world knows who is he.
No, I think because this one, Peter Parker is nobody to him, right? Peter Parker doesn't work for him or anything, so he doesn't care. Like he knows from press and everything that Mysterio was the one who supposedly saving all of them. So he's going to protect Mysterio with his death.
But it's still the same in a way that he still hates Spider-Man, but he still haven't meet Peter Parker. So he's still doing the same whole thing all over again.
To me, I feel like that scene is like, I think the whole movie will start off straight away from Far From Home. Because when someone dies or someone gets killed, they won't take like 1-2 years to start investigating, or 1-2 weeks to start investigating. They will start investigating straight away. So we saw the whole like press shootout, him getting interrogation and all stuff like that. So I think it's like directly from Far From Home. Maybe I think maybe half the movie will be directly, and then the other half could be fast forward. I don't know, but I think it'll start off immediately from Far From Home, based on that footage.
I just think that James Jonah Jameson like all out war with Peter lah. Maybe because for me I feel like maybe because his online news channel is not really shooting off. So this is like the biggest news, because he always try to find like the biggest scoop. Because like even we see in previous characters of James Jonah Jameson, he news is more important to him than people, right? Yeah. So I think this is where also he's like, I don't care who this player is, even if he's a high school kid, I'll go all out and try to ruin his career for me to, have a great news channel, something like that. Yeah. So as we see and the yearbook picture of what they call of Peter, we see like the half of the face is actually covered with the Spider-Man mask. This is actually a very good reference to the comics, where normally in the comic when Spider-Man's the Spidey senses tingle, then they will show like half his face covered in the Spider-Man mask. So it's sort of like a nice touch towards that. I really like how Marvel is doing this. Like they're really giving Spider-Man the full on comic vibe. So this is something that's really really nice, and we can expect more lah as we move forward. Then we cut to the next one. We cut to the police station. This is where it gets very interesting. Because Peter is like handcuffed and saying like, no, the drone's the one who killed Mysterio and not himself, and things like that. So he was actually like defending himself. So the guy questioning him, he sort of like reminds me of Sebastian Stan in a way. Like when I sort of like, oh no, but then it's not him lah, right? So I'm just getting too ahead of myself, right? So but the shirt, yeah. So like the shirt he was wearing is the DODC, which is the Department of Damage Control. We see this is in Homecoming actually, where this is the particular department that cleans up after the Battle of New York, right? And all that. So I think this is like a special department that really like goes and takes care of all the aftermath of the wars, that the Avengers will have, or things like that. So this guy is actually from that particular department. So I don't know whether they are in line with the police department or something like that, but we maybe in this movie will explore more in terms of what is the actual job scope lah. Okay, all right. So then we see also a man actually slamming a file on the table. I think Harvey will get very excited about this, because there's a lot of rumors saying that this could be actually the character Matt Murdock, which is played by Charlie Cox. So this, like, if you know Matt Murdock from the comics, is actually the Daredevil. So a lot of people are saying this, but before we get into that, I actually watched back the trailer like in slow speed, and I saw that actually as the scene they were going panning into the room where the interrogation room at Peter's handcuffed, you actually see another guy wearing a white collar shirt and a black tie, and he doesn't really look like Charlie Cox to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't know, but then some people say, oh, because then when he slams the file on the table, then his hands look as hairy as Charlie Cox and things like that. So we don't know, but maybe it could be like something like this throwing us off in the trailer, right? And then in reality, it could be Charlie Cox. So we don't know. As we know how Marvel did with Endgame, they took out characters, they replaced characters, things like that. So it's we cannot take the trailer as what it is until we actually see the actual movie itself. But it's nice to know that it could be, because there's no reason for them to actually cut like half to cut off from the head top of the person if they're not hiding something lah. That's what we think lah.
No, I think a lot of people are speculating it's Matt Murdock because of the way he slams the files and the reaction that Peter gave. When he slams, right, the reaction Peter gave, like, why are you slamming, why are you slamming the papers down? So we all know that he's actually blind, right? So when he's blind, it makes sense that he slams the files.
He probably tripped.
No, I mean, like, he doesn't know where the table is, right? So he just put it down, and then eventually it comes out as a slam, and then Peter's like, yo, why are you slamming, man? That kind of thing. So the reaction that Peter gave, like, who's this guy? Why is he slamming? Could be him. Because there's no reason for him to slam unless you know that Peter's a bad guy. But they all know Spider-Man is actually a hero of the whole Avengers fight. So they all know that
in this case, they are tying him to the murder of Mysterio. So they are villainizing him, that's why the protests and everything.
But his reaction, the way he reacted was very shocking. I think if he knows that they all are harsh towards him, he wouldn't have reacted that way. The way that he reacted was something like it could be someone he knows, or unexpected angle or something. I don't know.
Uncle Ben, you're still alive?
No, I think if they really bring Uncle Ben, there's something wrong somewhere, lah. But like I said, I think that the trailer could be really throwing us off. Like maybe that particular scene where they walk into the what they call the interrogation room could not even be real, right? It could just be a dummy shot, just to throw us off in the trailer itself. So we'll wait and see, lah. Because I have my hopes high that at least Matt Murdock will make some sort of an appearance, because I think we really need Daredevil in the MCU, it'd be a nice touch, lah.
Yeah, I think if at all, if it happens, and I think Matt Murdock will turn up till the very end, because we could kind of see like how the story is. They try to clear his name, but then it goes worse. It goes all haywire. So at the end, the only way to clear your name is go the real way, the lawful way. So Matt Murdock has to clear his name through by putting in the evidence and everything, like the justice, the American way. So most probably that might happen like towards the end, that he can just show up. We never know. But like how Sean said, they can throw off because like you see, like from Avengers Endgame, for example, when you see if it was the first trailer, you see the moment when Thanos goes to Captain America with the gauntlet, and you see him holding defending himself by holding. You see actually in the trailer itself, you see the stones. Not all stones Thanos has collected. You just see only the Soul Stone and the Power Stone, if I'm not mistaken. And there are no other stones. So it's implied that he didn't get the stones yet. But then in the movie, you see he has all the stones in his hand in the gauntlet.
Yeah, they can throw off lah.
Yeah, they can just this is happening, but then actually this is not happening. You never know.
I mean, that's Marvel lah. They either do two things. They either show us footages that are not in the movie, or show us footages that will be edited later, or they switch the whole timeline. Like we didn't know it was 5 years later in Endgame. Nobody knew.
Yeah.
And then boom, 5 years later.
Yeah, I can't wait for when we do Thor: Love and Thunder, when Harry has to say Taika Waititi many times.
I'll practice it now before we get there.
No, you know what's funny? Even just now, Eric said, "Remember dog." Then I was like, "Remember dog."
So much hate for me, yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, okay. So we see actually a very fast shot in the background where there's just like, I think there's a very fast frame of the National Congress Library, and then behind in the background, if you zoom in and you brighten up, you will actually see a very tall building, which actually people say is used to be the Avengers Tower, but it looks so much more different, and it looks like that, like the Baxter Building, because I think in Far From Home, when we see Peter swinging through New York, we see that actually there is a renovation going on where they said we can't wait to show you, and then there's 1, 2, 3, and then like a question mark. So this could be sort of like a teaser towards Fantastic Four, because we know that this particular director, John Watts, who's directing No Way Home, is actually also directing the Fantastic Four, right? So I think it's we can't wait if let's say if it is Fantastic Four, we can't wait for that. Okay, so then as we move on to the next one, which is where Peter and MJ is like reading the news on their phone and talking to each other, right? And we can see a lot of continuity in terms of Marvel. We know about continuity errors, in Endgame and things like that, but this is a very good continuity where she has sketches of people on the wall where we see her actually like sketching in Homecoming, right? So this is like a very good continuity. And then we see this shot. This is where it gets very interesting for me also, because Peter walks to the school where we see people are protesting on where he's walking, and then the opposite side, if you zoom in the opposite side, you see people that are like supporting him. So I mean, people know that okay, Spider-Man is true. He's done some good things and so on, right? I think the opinions are split in terms of whether Peter is actually a good person or a bad person. Okay, and then as we see Peter walking, then we see behind someone holding out like a protest card saying "Devil in disguise," and then it got me all thinking, oh, Mephisto all over again. But then I don't get my hopes too high after what happened in WandaVision. I just don't want to go down the road anymore. But then now they're teasing us with this kind of things, so it's quite it's very heartbreaking, like when you want something so badly and you cannot get it, right?
This whole protesting thing and supporting thing is exactly the same like in Sam Raimi's universe, because there's one point there everybody there was some like against Spider-Man, and there was some supporting him until we have the song where Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Remember the Chinese lady would start singing and then he'd be like, what? So I think they're doing the exact same thing where that needs to be like a yin and yang, where there's a good side and a bad side of Spider-Man. And the whole devil in disguise thing, there's actually a comic reference where Mephisto impersonates as Doctor Strange and helps Spider-Man. So this I don't know, like Sean say, this could all be just a throw off. But we will have to see that it could be him, it could not be him. I don't think it's him. I don't think Mephisto will get involved. But yeah, I think it's just like a tickle for Marvel for us.
I think they wouldn't go too far with. They're already having Doc Ock, they're already having Electro coming back. I think putting in Mephisto inside it, I think it's just going to create even more confusion. Why suddenly this? The storyline then will just go off board. But then it's a nice wink, like how Eric said the reference. Yeah, it's a nice wink that Mephisto. If you think at all, yeah, it's kind of a nice wink there. But then I'm not rooting for Mephisto to be in it. I just feel it's still Doctor Strange.
Actually,
But
I would agree to like include him in, because I don't think we have any new characters this No Way Home. Like, I think we all know who are the characters already by now. We know Doc Ock, we know Green Goblin, we know all the baddies already. So we don't know, like that's why like there's rumors saying there's one more baddie that is not released yet, that is not known yet. It could be him. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
For me, I think maybe it could be him, but then I think they wouldn't want to waste it introducing him, but then introduce the last member of the Sinister Six. Not the last member, one of the other members of Sinister Six, probably Rhino or something. But I would still say it's a very nice touch. Maybe Mephisto won't appear in this, but it's all a build-up to introduce him in the next movies, because you see teasers of him in WandaVision, you see teasers of him in Loki, and now we are having this kind of references. So, it's probably a build-up for the next movie for him to appear.
Yeah.
Also, we see like a scene where Peter and MJ is on a bridge surrounded by helicopters. So like I said, they are like moving the scenes around, just to throw us off and not give us a clear picture of what exactly is happening or what exactly is going to happen. Okay, and then we cut back to the scene in the school where Peter walks through a crowd of students taking pictures of him. I think for him to go back to school in that sense, I think he's already having like a lot of I think the man got balls the boy got balls, in terms of like, if it's for me, I don't think I would be able to stand that kind of scrutiny, but I think he's like facing it, yeah. And then we also see Anme and Peter sitting on the couch.
We disappeared Eric for a while, but he will come back, so don't mind him.
I'm just here.
Over there.
I'm being a ghost. Just continue.
One eternity later.
Okay, so we got Eric back from the multiverse. Alright, so we're going back into the trailer breakdown. So as we can see in that, as you can see back in the in the trailer, we see Ned and Aunt looking like as though they're being held for questioning. So we don't know which part of the scene that is, and all that. So and then Peter, it seems like seems like he's in a diner or somewhat, and he sees like a Doctor Strange, like a Halloween sort of like a decoration, right? So maybe this we know the movie is coming out during Christmas, so maybe this is like a leftover sort of like a decoration. So he sees something like Doctor Strange, sort of like a decoration. So I think that gives him the inkling to, okay, let's go and see Doctor Strange. Maybe he can help me out in some way. So then we see the, like, I wouldn't say money shot, but then it's like the, what do you call, the important part where Peter makes his way to the Sanctum Sanctorum, and then he opens the door, and then we see Doctor Strange right at the top of the stairs, and then it looks like the entire sanctum is actually covered in snow. So I don't know why it's covered in snow. When outside wasn't covered in snow, but inside it is. So could be some magic gone wrong, or some leftover snow from don't know from where, or some portal or whatever lah. Right?
Or it's probably having an early Christmas vibe lah.
Oh yeah, I wanted to make it Christmassy inside the sanctum.
The thing that I noticed, right, he was wearing a winter jacket, okay, and then he was wearing his cape on top of it. And then below the winter jacket, he was wearing like a college hoodie or something. I can't remember what it says. And he was wearing sweatpants. Why would a superhero be wearing sweatpants?
He's on vacation, bro.
Yeah. I think he's like got nothing to do, so he's like, oh, let's make it snow over here and then just chill out with the weather.
Yeah.
And if you realize his color scheme of the sweater and everything, it's like on par with his costume from the MCU. These are the same color coding, the blue, and everything. But then it just it's sweater form.
Yeah, so I
so
think he's like on holiday or something like that.
Yeah, so the shirt is wearing on the inside is actually from his alma mater. I think it's like Columbia University or something like that. That was what he was wearing. And then he was also holding a mark that says "Oh, for Fox 6," right? So hello Fox. Okay, so it's like a I don't know lah, right? We shall not go into that. We shall not cause problems.
Sensitive issue.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Then we see Doctor Strange because Peter goes in and says sir or something like that. And then Doctor Strange says that they are way past Peter calling him sir because they save half the universe together and all that. And then Peter calls him Steven. Then there's like sort of like an awkward moment. And then Doctor Strange says that that feels weird, but I'll allow it. Okay, and then we see a quick scene of Peter running in a shelter wearing like a black suit. I think Jess is very happy about this, but we don't know. But the thing is, we cannot see clearly what suit this is. It could be that black suit with the gold color lining that actually was teased in the concept art and so on. Yeah, so I'm not really sure lah. For me, it looks like sort of like the stealth suit, the night monkey maybe. Right, because we don't know which part of the scene that this is, right? So I'm not sure. Jess, you want to say anything about the suit?
I don't know. I don't think it's a night monkey suit because the night monkey suit, obviously, it's a bit geared up. It's a bit bulky compared to his normal suit. This one looks very tight to his body and looks very dull. So remember, like I mentioned earlier, is that incomplete suit. So I'm hoping it's that. Or maybe there's another black suit. I'll be much more happier lah. That we have a new suit that was not teased.
And one thing, sorry, Harry, go ahead.
Probably the suit also is his final battle suit, because we see a lot of suit. We see the suit from Far From Home, then we see the Iron Spider, and now this black suit. Probably this black suit, because from the concept art we see is this black suit is the one where we see with the Doctor Strange what do you call the magic all around it, enchantment and everything around it. So probably it's his final battle suit. So we never know, but it's a very cool glimpse, we get to see.
And then the diner that he runs across, it's actually a cross reference to Spider-Man's PS4 game. In the Spider-Man PS4 game and the PS5 actually, Aunt May works in that shelter. So it's the exact same shelter. What was the name of the shelter again? I remember what's the name of the shelter.
I didn't play the game.
Yeah.
Feast.
Yes. So it's exactly the same. So it could be just a Easter egg hint, or it's a different multiverse.
The one of multiverse, he probably entered the PS4.
I have my theory lah. Later I'll get to that lah. So just keep it like
because we also see the Feast truck. There's one leaked photo of a set where we see like a Feast truck outside the Sanctum Sanctorum. So we don't know lah, whether it is just an Easter egg, or whether it plays a part in this particular movie. So we will see lah, right? Okay. So then moving on, we see Peter ask Doctor Strange to help him to stop Mysterio from revealing his identity, right? And then Wong says like, where he looks like he's going on holiday, carrying the bags, going into a portal, maybe to go and fight Abomination. Then he says, "Don't cast that spell; it's too dangerous," right? And then Strange says that, "Oh, he won't cast the spell of wings at Peter." So there's a lot of things like, I don't know whether why Doctor Strange would do that, right? Because this particular thing, right, as what we mentioned earlier, is like pulling off a storyline from one of the comics, which is the One More Day comic series, right? Or One More Day comic, right? Where actually Peter goes to Doctor Strange to ask him for help, right? Because in that day, Aunt May actually dies, so he wants to save her, and then and things like that. So he goes to Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange like travels through the multiverse to try to help him, but in the end he cannot. So he actually makes a deal with the devil, which is Mephisto. So Mephisto helps him, but in return that everybody forgets who Peter Parker is, right? And also breaks his marriage with MJ. So this is like I don't think they're going to go too deep into this particular comic, but I think it's sort of like along the same lines. Yeah. Okay. So then we see Doctor Strange and Peter walk into the basement and start doing some spell thingy, with Peter's hair, because the way that he holds that particular string into like the sort of like a pensive sort of design. So he actually plays with the hair. So this is like very doctors like sort of like the sorcery, where if you need to attach a spell to somebody, you need something from them, right? Where we see also in Thor Ragnarok, where what they call Doctor Strange actually pulls a hair from Thor, and then casts a spell, where to allow them to go and see Odin lah, right? So this is quite interesting in the sense. So the spell things and all this, I think it plays a huge role on how it works and stuff like that. So we will get into more theories. And then we also see actually Doctor Strange actually wearing the Eye of Agamotto, the medallion. We know for a fact that the medallion was destroyed by Thanos on Titan. So we don't know where he got this from, whether he traveled to the multiverse and stole it from a different Doctor Strange or what lah, right? But we
was
know
the medallion really
destroyed?
Destroyed?
Yeah, it was
because what they call you can see in Avengers Infinity War, where Thanos crushes the thing because he found that the time stone wasn't inside there, because Doctor Strange hid it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but the Eye of Agamotto is not there. The time stone not inside, but he's still wearing the medallion.
The medallion, yeah.
He got attachment issues lah.
No, we don't know if it's there. What? It has to open up first. Then he was reveal the eye.
True. Yeah, very true.
So
but we know the time stone is destroyed because of Thanos destroyed the stones, right? And then the stones that they were used in Endgame were actually returned back to the original timeline.
Yeah, but if it's returned back to the original timeline, wouldn't that mean that the eye of Agamotto is actually in the Sanctum?
But that is in another university.
Are you sure?
Not the universe.
Unless this is the universe.
The reality where they took from lah.
Yeah.
It's messed up.
we will definitely get into more of these theories. We got more videos coming for you guys. Okay, so then we see the next shot where Peter like messes up, like try to break Doctor Strange's concentration. When you're doing, he's telling Peter, don't mess with the spell and things like that. And then we see the one point. So we see like actually like sort of like runes, sort of like encircling them, like rings. Okay, where there's like 3 distinct rings like around them. So then Doctor tells him don't mess with the spell, and then suddenly we see like because he's saying that he don't want Aunt May and Jane Nat to forget him and things like that, and then we see the whole like ring like swirl, sort of like like a time travel sort of like a machine, you know, the way that it turns, right? So we see the ring swirl and then it breaks like the wall around them, they're revealing like an empty void, something like what we see at in Loki at the end of the timeline, right? Yeah. Okay, so we see that. I was expecting someone to say something.
Not from Loki. I feel the void, the thing was more like the moment when the ancient one gave the multiverse travel thing. You know, you see all the lights circling. So it was more from that kind of scene. But then you realize that the thing that we actually thought that okay, Scarlet Witch is the one who messed with reality. After you see Loki, but then you see Doctor Strange is also messed with his own reality.
He's the biggest one, the one who messes up for Earth, you know.
Yeah.
And we thought he was going to fix their problem, but then it looks
Yeah.
like they need to fix his problem over here.
Yeah, exactly. So then we see like sort of like a multicolors flashing, and you know, reminds me a little bit of the Bifrost, right? Where you see like, you know, when you travel to Bifrost, you see like so many colors. But here there's a distinct colors that you can see. If you really slow down the frames, you'll see more yellow, green, blue, you know, this sort of color. So I'm not sure exactly where these colors are from, but it's very similar also to the colors when the Ancient One takes Doctor Strange through the multiverse, right? Where the his hands and legs are like shooting out all these colors, right? So it's something very similar to that. Maybe this could be where some people will travel through, like it's like opening up sort of like a portal through the multiverse for people to come through or something like that, right? So this could be like maybe other villains from other universe and all that. Okay, and then we cut to the words this Christmas. You know, as we know, the movie is coming out this year on December 17th. So it flashes those words this Christmas, and then we see like Spider-Man jumping from a building, and then we see like New York City like sinking on itself. Like the whole of reality is affected, right? And then
The scene is like practically almost the same like how Doctor Strange, you know, the reality warping, you see the buildings is very similar to that. You see?
That was a mirror dimension.
Yeah, but I'm also feeling that this is where Doctor Strange actually explains to Peter what the multiverse is, because he said that we tempered with the stability of space-time. The multiverse is a concept about we know frighteningly little, right? So I think maybe he's doing what the Ancient One did to him, explaining to him what is the multiverse. Maybe there's a friction going on between them, right? And then the next shot we see yellow electricity and like sandstorm, and then we see a Daily Bugle news van, the yellow electricity and the sandstorm. We know lah, okay. And then Strange and Spider-Man on a train. The train where the train and the tracks multiply, like sort of like they are fighting each other, or it could be from the same shot where from where Peter jumps off the building, you know, in the mirror dimension, maybe something like that. So a lot of confusion going on there. And then
for those of y'all who are watching who don't know what does the yellow electricity and sandstorm mean, the yellow electricity is Electro. Although Electro was initially a blue electricity in the previous Spider-Man movie, but this one they're going back to the comics, which is the yellow electricity. Yeah. And the sandstorm is none other than Sandman. You can expect both of them in there.
Yeah.
Yes. We will get to that, huh? Okay. We will get to that. Okay. So then, Strange tells Peter that what you call like you're trying to live two different lives. Okay, as he astro projects him, like how Ancient One did to him, and also what Ancient One did to Hulk in Endgame. And then we see in that scene, we see Peter holding sort of like a mysterious cube. Okay. This could be like a holding place for, I don't know, like pocket dimensions, or when you open up, you know, it's like something similar to a Bifrost where you can travel to, you know, other universes, whatever. We don't know what the particular box is, and it looks a little bit ancient and it looks very mystical to me, right? So it could be something from Doctor Strange where Peter stole it or took it, right?
No, I feel that maybe what is that, okay, so after Doctor Strange has already changed the reality, and maybe Peter doesn't want this anymore. So maybe the box contains the thing where you change back things to normal, but then Doctor Strange, as we all know, he's the one who maintains the stability of space and time, you see. So he doesn't want that, because maybe he feels like if you open the box, things might get even worse or something like that in a way. So we don't know how this works, but the box is something very, very mysterious, and like what Sean says, very ancient, looks very ancient.
It's like a Pandora box kind of vibe.
Yeah, correct. It's like, don't open it or we all die. That kind of a thing. Yeah. Okay, so then moving on, we see Strange goes on to also say a lot of voice overs coming in, from Peter, from Doctor Strange. We see that Doctor Strange says that the longer you do it, the more dangerous it becomes. And then we see Spider-Man with the iron suit and the iron claw, right? And then then we see another shot here where Happy doesn't look so happy because he's surrounded by the SWAT squad. This could be maybe in the beginning of the movie where they all get arrested. We don't know. Okay.
Hey, on that something.
Yeah. Okay.
Happy felt crappy.
Yeah. The movie is like, oh shit, there goes my life. Yeah. Okay. And then we see a fast and quick shot of Peter in a dark place. This is you will not catch this if you see it on normal speed. You got to see it on a slower speed where he's like he's like in a dark space. I don't know where this is. It's very hard to make out. And then we see behind, like, there's something running towards Peter, which looks like a lizard because it's on all four legs and it has that sort of like greenish, grayish sort of like a color, like jumping out of him from behind and like hitting onto like a glass or like sort of like a like a force shield or something like that. Well, this could be, as we know, there are going to be more than one villains in this movie, so this could be the lizard lah, right, from the Amazing Spider-Man. So we all are hoping lah, but although we cannot see it clearly, but I'm hoping that it is. All right. Okay. And then again, we see the yellow electricity and the sandstorm. This time, we see like the sand taking shape of a person. If you really slow it down, you can see. So this is where we know that it most likely is Sandman and also Electro. This could be similar to the same shot I just mentioned earlier, but I think they split the shots into two different. One could be maybe a dummy shot. One could be an actual shot. We don't know. And then we hear like a deep laugh. As we see the shot, we hear like a deep laugh. I don't know whether this is Electro's laugh or not, right? But it's like very deep, and but I don't think Sandman has that sort of like a laugh. I've never heard it or I've never seen him laugh like that. But I don't know whether this could be actually Electro.
I don't think Electro laughs if it's Jamie Foxx Electro.
Yeah, I'm not sure lah, but it's like a very deep laugh, like a very sinister laugh lah, right? So we don't know who this is.
Goblin's laugh.
It
Yeah,
could
it's
be.
probably the Goblin.
Yeah. Okay. And then we the thing, probably the scene that we are waiting the most lah. Alright. We were like speculating all throughout before the trailer comes out. We see a green glowing pumpkin bomb like rolling on the floor, and then boom, it explodes. Right. So we know that bomb actually belongs to the famous Green Goblin. So now we can say for sure Green Goblin is definitely in. Although we have not seen him, all right.
That bomb is enough.
Yeah, because who else will have that sort of technology besides Green Goblin, right? So
and also that bomb comes from the Tobey Maguire movie. It's not like from different Green Goblin bomb or whatever. It's like on same design, the same thing from that movie. So we know that Doc Ock is coming from Tobey Maguire universe, but now we also can safely say that this Green Goblin is coming from there too. But I'll be so hyped to see Willem Dafoe back as the Green Goblin.
Yeah. I don't think any other Green Goblin comes close to the OG lah. We will say the OG Green Goblin, right? In sort of like the Marvel live action movies. Okay, then
I'll be the Goblin from Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. Okay. So then it fades black after the part where the bomb explodes, and then we see it from a wide angle. Then it fades black. So this is where I'm not 100% sure. I've listened to it many times, very slowly. Every time I think about something else, it's either Norman Osborn's voice or Doctor Strange's voice saying, "Be careful what you wish for, Parker."
I
I
think
am
it's
thinking-
Doctor
It's
Strange.
it's William
Yeah.
Dafoe's voice. It's not Doctor Strange because William Dafoe's voice is slightly high pitched towards the end compared to Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is a bit thick and tonk with his voice. Like I heard it a few times as well. I even heard it slow motion, and you can imagine how if you just imagine Doctor Strange saying the same words and William Dafoe saying the same words, you actually can tell that it's not Doctor Strange. Because Doctor Strange is a bit more tonky with his voice towards the end, especially. But William Dafoe, you can hear the crisp and the high pitchy when it comes to the end.
Okay.
Try
No,
hearing it
because
again.
for me, when okay, the voice is one thing, but the way that he says Parker sounds a lot like how Norman Osborn used to speak with
correct.
Tobey Maguire, right?
Yeah.
The word when he says Parker, because I don't think I've ever heard. I'm not sure whether I'm wrong, but I've never heard Doctor Strange call Peter Parker before. So I'm not sure. I think he will call him Peter because they are like family, the Avengers, right? So I think they would be on first name basis. So that's why it made me think, because it sounds a little bit, when you listen over and over again, it could sound a little bit like what do you call Doctor Strange, but the word Parker itself, it really gives me a Norman Osborn sort of a vibe lah. Okay,
Yeah.
and then Peter looks towards his right in one of the frames, like as though he's looking at something, and something caught his attention, and then we see like the metal tentacles come out, and we know who that is. It's Doc Ock, right? So we see
that was damn
Doc Ock.
exciting, man.
Yeah, I got damn hype.
Yeah, because the other villains, we never see them in physical form. Just maybe like like electricity, send some sand. The lizard also like like a flash disc, like something like that. And even Green Goblin's one is just a pumpkin bomb, so it's not the physical appearance. But this, we get a physical appearance of Alfred Molina as Doc Ock saying, "Hello, Peter."
Parker.
So
Parker, right? Oh,
yeah.
Peter.
No,
Peter.
hello,
He calls him by
Because-
first name
yeah.
also.
because he has because he had a relationship because he was his lecturer and stuff like that, right? So but here the thing is, he wears a very different outfit from what he used to wear in the what they call in Spider-Man in the Raimi verse, where now he wears sunglasses and not the goggles, and then he wears like a turtleneck, so like I think he sort of like went up a level in his dressing. So that was really nice, and we can see the de-aging as well. Although maybe the trailer, they might not put a lot of effort into that, de-aging CGI, but I think the movie, I think it will be even more cool, especially watching it in the big screen, right? But for me, when he says "Hello, Peter," I think they're throwing us really off, because because I think he could be talking to, as we know, the rumor has it that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire is part of this movie, right? I mean, I'm okay with also just being Tom Holland, but I would feel better if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield has some sort of an appearance, right? I think it will make it even more better, right? Because the blue color suit that he wears in this particular scene reminds me so much of that blue color suit that we see that Tobey Maguire wears in Spider-Man. So maybe it could be another CGI effect, we don't know. And sort of, so then we see Peter on top of the car and suiting up in the iron suit, and then we end it with the Spider-Man No Way Home what do you call title card, and then the Spider-Man theme music, December 17th, and so on and so forth. So that was the entire trailer. It was long. I think we took quite some time breaking the trailer down, right? So any thoughts from you guys?
Who wants to go first?
Okay, I go first lah. I'm really hoping, like you mentioned, that they will introduce the other Spider-Man. We can't really say that they won't show them, because it's a very important aspect and they wouldn't just dump it in a trailer just like that. But then I guess the way they signify to us is by introducing the villain. So it's like, where there's a villain, there'll be a hero. And I don't think one Spider-Man and one Doctor Strange can take on all these villains in one go. So and like Doc Ock, I think he was referring to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, because the way he said hello Peter is like he knew who this Peter was. It's not like a random Peter that he just saw. So yeah, and it's going to be exciting. I feel like this is going to be the next biggest movie after Endgame, because it's a long-awaited movie. We've been waiting and we've been speculating for so long, and it's finally here. When the trailer dropped, it felt like your whole universe just shifted. Felt like I was in a multiverse. Like, oh my god, I'm watching the video. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, and the only thing that we should know that Marvel tends to, again and again, they tend to throw us off. The CGI effects, they blur some things out and everything. So and I feel the only reason why they reveal Alfred Molina, because we know that he's coming back. They already confirmed it. It's him. It's coming from the Tobey Maguire movie. He's directly coming right after the end scene where he goes underwater at the end scene, and then that is directly coming back to Tom Holland. And the reason why I think they didn't show the character of Sandman, it didn't show too much of it, because maybe they waited for this moment to happen. Because we didn't know Sandman was going to appear. We didn't know if at all it's Sandman or if at all it's Lizard. We don't know they were going to appear. But if at all they're appearing, they made it into a surprise right now. And even we didn't know Green Goblin also was going to appear. Then we finally get to see the gadget. So there's so much of things, and I kind of hopefully hope that they don't release a trailer so that we could actually enjoy in the theaters. Like, we still can go full blown hype. Wait for all the surprises. But probably they will release it because they want still people to promote, good things. But hopefully they don't, maybe try not to. But yeah, like what Jess said, this is the most awaited movie, because from what we know, the Loki series is connected, because they are diving with the multiverse. The Loki, Spider-Man, No Way Home, Doctor Strange into the Multiverse of Madness, and also Ant-Man, Quantum. These movies are kind of interconnected rather than the rest, as what we know of. So I'm really hyped for Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, the movie is going to be great. The trailer itself was already shockingly great. There's a lot of theories to come, because it's so mixed up in a way, it's so messed up in a way that you don't know what happens first, what happens where. I think I said the exact same words for Endgame's trailer. It was so messed up, it was so mixed up, you cannot get the right picture of what's happening, what's going to happen, how is it going to happen, you don't know. Yeah, it's the exact same thing with No Way Home. Just one thing I would like to mention is the whole scene about Peter and Strange. I have a feeling that I will call it now I have a feeling that it's them traveling into a multiverse where everybody doesn't know about Peter's true identity. Instead of them erasing their memory, I think they accidentally traveled through time and through the multiverse and opened the portal. So that cube that he gave Peter was a way to go back. Since Strange can already fly through, he can open his own portal, blah blah blah. So, and the word that he says to Peter, the longer you stay, the more dangerous it becomes. So it kind of makes sense. And then the whole thing about them seeing the lizards and the Sandmans, Electro, seeing Peter, like Tom Holland itself, could be a throw off, like what Sean said, or it could be they don't recognize him. They just want to beat the Spider-Man and they don't recognize him. So it could be that lah. So we have to see lah. That's all I have to say lah.
Okay, so this is so we have given you guys so much to digest and to go through. You guys can rewatch the entire video again, and then probably open up one window where we are doing the breakdown, another window where you're looking at the trailer just to see what we are talking about. It's so much of things that we get into. So Marvel, please don't reveal too much. Allow us to do theories lah. All right, allow us to get into all the theories, because so much of theories that that we have talked about, planning for this video, and also We know that there's so many things that we have talked about. So stay tuned to more videos of us doing a lot of theories for Spider-Man. There's a lot of things that I don't think we even like spoke about in this video itself. So there's a lot of things that we can speak about more. All right. That is it from us, guys. So please do like, comment, and hit the subscribe button so that you guys can have more content from us, the Geek Street. Right. So this is us, and the street has spoken.
Ciao, guys.
Okay, ciao.
Adios.
All right. Bye.